This is official. We overcomplicate things. We make it too difficult. We tell ourselves we can't eat carbs ever again. We tell ourselves we can't eat gluten. We tell ourselves we have to exercise every day and all this stuff. And most of it's a lie. You just have to do more tomorrow than what you did today. And I mean, what you've done to this point has gotten you here. You just got to do a little bit more to get to the next spot. Now, will you hit a plateau? Yeah, of course, because you got to keep changing. It's not always going to stay the same. So what's new to you today and tomorrow in 3-4 weeks? Yeah, you might have to step it up a little bit. But that's with everything. That's your job, that's your career, that's your kids. It's everything, all right? There's progress. So you have to keep making progress, and any progress leads to more progress and more progress. So the whole idea is as long as you guys don't quit on yourselves, you guys see results. One of the things that they want to do for the challenge, which we've never done before, but now for our new challenge that we're starting at our facility, is just completing the challenge. You guys will be entered into a prize to win our prize. So we've always done it on the top finisher, most weight loss, most body fat, somebody who did over the top and excelled. The downside of that is if you have somebody who's worked out for a long time and somebody who's brand new, the person brand new is going to crush them, all right? So that's one thing. Then obviously you're going to have some people that are going to have more weight to lose than others. So obviously they're going to crush the people who don't have as much to lose. So this is a really cool philosophy, and I really like that we're going to incorporate this our challenge because it is about trusting the process and staying consistent. The only secret, anything that I can tell you that our transformations have different from you guys today is that they've been consistent. And that all starts with just making one new step tomorrow and a new step the next day. All right? So I want to go over some different things real quick. The first workout will be here, September 11th in this room. I guess we're kicking everybody out and pulling chairs out of here and everything will be set up here. We're going to have separate equipment set up for this location and the Dade City location, so you guys will have everything, I think, in the closet here. No, it was there. That's the closet.
Yes, that closet.
All right, so we'll have our stuff here. What's going to happen, guys, is we're only going to be here at this location once a week, so we want to make sure you guys are still going on with everything. So we're going to have an actual workout calendar laid out for you guys that you're going to know what to do, you're going to know how to do it, but you can come here, grab a mat, drop down, do it at any time, or it's something you can do at your house, okay? So it doesn't have to be something that you make over dramatic or too complicated. You can literally lay on the side of your bed, get a few exercises done either in the morning or after work each day, and you're done, okay? So that's the first part. The next part, for grand prize, we're going to give awards also, like I said, for belly inches lost, body fat percentage lost, and then the participation award of just finishing the challenge. So we're going to be doing a total of 6 months of boot camp that we'll be raffling off between the two locations. Chris will be doing a $100 gift certificate for food delivery, and Marissa will be doing a $100 gift certificate for actual supplements. So somebody's going to get hooked up, all right? The very last thing I want to go before we actually start this is I have these sheets here. You guys all got your measurements done today and you wanted to see them. Well, it had other people's stuff on it. So what we need is you guys have to create your free account. I put the website here, so we'll make sure we pass this around in a minute. With that, it's called Fit Clients. You're going to go to this website. If you have Facebook, you can just click the blue button and your registration is done. If you don't have Facebook or you don't want to use Facebook, you register with an email address. And all it is going to be an account that you have access to and I have access to. But all your measurements will always go in there. You don't have to put them in yourself. We put them in for you. And other than that, it's just a way to track everything. So what's really cool is you'll be able to see your progress all the way along, though. So if you know anything about math and graphs, if you have 1 point, you can't have a graph. So once you get your second set of measurements, you'll start to see everything start to lay out. One of the things I want you guys to really do when you get into this software is you'll spot to set goals. Set a goal for yourself. It could be simple. It could be, I'm going to finish this challenge. It could be, I'm going to lose this many pounds or percentage of body fat. It could be anything. But set a goal for yourself. Don't just start this with no expectation, all right? You have to set some sort of bar for yourself. And I don't care how small it is, but set something, okay? So when you put that in there and you put that goal, what's going to happen is as we start approaching the deadline, it doesn't only notify you, but it notifies me. Right? So I can reach back out to you and say, hey, guess what? And that's where we start to get into the accountability side of it too. Now you're going to put a reward and you also put a punishment. So when you set your deadline, be real with yourself, all right? If it's going shopping or going out to a restaurant, if it's doing something like that, put that as your reward. If it's something you don't like, put that as your punishment, okay? Trust me, you'll find exercises when we start that you don't like, and that can be a punishment. So with the Fit Clients, guys, we'll make sure we pass it around. We cannot put your numbers in until you get that done, so let's try and get that done. We have all the Dade City people to measure tomorrow, so it'd be nice to be able to break it up and enter one group today and the next group tomorrow. I think that's it. Any questions before we start? Because we're going into food. I flew through that. All right, if anybody ever needs to dial back the speed, when you play this, just go into the YouTube setting, you can scale back the speed, it'll slow down my voice. But other than that, this is the speed it comes out. I don't have another speed. So if you need to say what, please say what. If you raise your hand, you won't offend me. I will repeat anything, and I want to make sure you guys all understand everything, but I have no control over how fast that comes out. All right, so first things first, we need to know about food. And if we know about food, we don't have to guess at what to eat anymore, okay? We always think that we have to have a deprivation or we need to restrict something, and that's kind of where everybody goes wrong. There's really no food you can't ever eat. There's a right time for it, there might be a right portion size, but there's no food you can't eat. We eat pizza every Sunday night, and we get a piece of chocolate cake from Slice of Life, and it's delivered. I mean, they don't even have to, they know our order by now. It's every Sunday for probably like at least 30 straight weeks. So you need to find balance in your life, because these people that do these programs where they're deprive themselves for a long time, or they do a low carb or a keto or a medical diet, yeah, it works while you're on it, but then what do you do when you come off of it? All you're left with is your old bad habits. So if you can start to form new habits, find foods that you like and find ways to make them maybe healthier, then you're going to start to make progress, okay? But you can't just take things away. It'll work short term, but when we see you again in 6 months, you'll be right back or maybe worse than where we started from, okay? So it's all about finding that balance. So the first thing I want to talk about is, what's a calorie? Give me the definition. Come on. Who's counted a calorie before?
It's a unit of energy.
Hmm? You've counted? Nobody else has counted calories in here, guys.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Group of liars. They're fooling themselves. Okay.
Yeah.
So we've counted points, we counted calories, we counted something in the past. We all have, don't? And at least somebody's turned over and said, "Oh, this is 200 calories." But you don't know where those calories come from. Okay? And that's kind of a problem. Is we get so obsessed over calories, but really it could be a bunch of great calories, or it could be a bunch of bad calories. They're not all created equal. So like Heather said, it's a unit of energy, but the real definition, and I probably should have it memorized by now, but it's the amount of energy it takes to lower a degree of water, or lower a gram of water 1 degree Celsius.
Okay.
The hell does that mean? You counted them, I don't. Yeah. So you guys, huh? Calories are calories, guys. Don't worry about them. We're going to worry about what the food is and where it came from, and that's going to be what we're going to focus on, okay? So really, when you look at it, every gram of protein has 4 calories. Every carb has 4 calories. Every gram of fat has 9 calories. You never really need to know that ever again, okay? But it's there. What's the definition of metabolism?
Slow or fast.
You all want it to be faster, so what does it do?
Rate at which your body burns off the fat.
Oh, I like that. It was really, say it again?
Has to do with the rate at which your body burns off calories.
Yeah.
and fat.
That's really close. She said rate at which your body burns off calories and fat. So it's the rate at which your body breaks down calories in order to sustain life, okay? Or it can be broken down energy in order to sustain life. Calories are energy. So the key thing with that is in order to sustain life, okay? So that's what you need to remember. Your job is to try to keep yourself alive. That's really it. That's your metabolism. So when people say, "Oh, I don't have a metabolism, or I have a slow one," you're blinking, you're thinking, you're moving, whatever right now, you have a metabolism, okay? You are alive. If you didn't have metabolism, you'd be dead. All right? So the whole point of metabolism is you want to remember that part in order to sustain life. When it comes to proteins, proteins are the only things out of everything that you eat that has sustained its own life. Okay? That's what's going to increase your metabolism. Now people start thinking, "Oh, protein powders, or I can't have too much protein. I can't." Don't start overthinking, guys. Forget everything you learned before you got in this room, okay? So again, we're going to start to eat balanced, but protein is where it's all going to start from. Protein comes from anything that flew, walked, or swam, or produced anything in its life cycle. So that would be cheese, that would be eggs, that would be milk and dairy products and things like that, okay? Now, a lot of times people ask me, what about peanut butter? Did peanut butter sustain life?
Yes, it's got protein.
Did it sustain life? I've never met a peanut butter. Yeah. So no, that's the difference. So, and everybody always wants to say, "Oh, beans, that's a protein." Did beans sustain life? No. Did soy sustain life? No. So while it does have protein in it, it's not a complete protein, and it's not going to help you sustain life, okay? So some of those different things, like I would put beans into a carb category, all right? When you're talking about peanuts, peanuts are a fat category. You can say it has protein, but it has 4 grams of protein, 16 grams of fat. So is it a protein or is it a fat? It's a fat, okay? So the one thing you gotta know with protein is the fact that it does everything that you're feeling crappy about right now. It helps to repair and increase your metabolism. It replenishes stuff and nourishes stuff. It helps you recover while you sleep, but it is like that magic thing. All right, so protein does everything for every living thing inside your body. Carbs and fat do not, okay? So that's the first part to understand. Next part is protein lasts 3 to 5 hours in your system. So it holds you over a long time. When we get into carbs, you'll see carbs are pretty quick in and out of the system. So between like 30 minutes to 2 hours. Now, where does that variance come in with carbohydrates? Like, what are carbs? I put the examples there. But why would some only be 30 minutes and some be 2 hours?
Oh, good fatty food of carbs.
Well, I'm gonna back off for that one today. So think about this, like how long is, say fruit juice, orange juice, how long would that keep you full for? Not very long, okay? We could say it doesn't get you full at all. Now, what about a sweet potato? That would be more like 2 hours, okay? So it depends on like the complexity of the actual carbohydrate. Things that are more juicy, things that are more sugary, those are gonna be your quicker in and out of your system. And then your things that are more like rice and pasta, potatoes and breads, that's gonna last longer in your system. Only two things that carbs do for you: they give you energy and they make you happy. All right? Say bread.
Bread.
You smile, right? It makes you happy. You can't say bread and not smile. So it is. The whole thing is like this right here. There's a purpose for it, but it's to give you energy. Okay? So should we be eating carbs at dinner every single night? So you're doing that booty dance for a long time. Husband's gonna like me. So no carbs, okay? So that's the thing. If you're gonna be active at night, then you can have some carbs. But if not, you probably wanna keep those carbs to a minimum. All right, so that's the thing you really wanna look for is, when am I gonna eat carbs? When am I gonna eat fats? Fats are gonna be when you're sedentary and not moving and not active. Carbs are gonna be when you're moving and active and you need that on-demand energy, okay? If you're going out to exercise right now, that orange juice might not keep you full, but it'll give you energy for 30 minutes, okay? So that's where you gotta start to look at it. If you had a sweet potato right before a workout and it takes 2 hours to digest, is that gonna give you energy? No, it's gonna make you feel like crappiness, all right? So you gotta really make sure you pay attention to what your foods are. When we get to fats, fats are gonna come pretty much naturally into your diet, but you wanna think about like nuts, oils, seeds, your animal meats, things like that are gonna have fats. The key thing to remember with fats, they take a long time to break down, which some people say that's bad, but that's actually really good. It's gonna keep you full for a long period of time. So the longer it keeps you full, the less chance you are at snacking on other stuff. The key thing with fats, like I said, it lasts 3+ hours in your system. So it lasts a long, long time. So how I like to break down this analogy, and if you guys watch the video that I posted on the support page, I like to make it like a fire. So if you think about your metabolism as big burning fire, what you want to think about is protein is that log that you get from the store, you get delivered to your house, okay? It burns the cleanest, the least amount of smoke, it burns the hottest. Carbs are going to be like your lighter fluid in your sticks. So you can't just heat up the protein without having some sort of fuel inside of it. So that's where your carbohydrates are going to make the fire get hot. This is going to keep it hot and keep it burning. And then when you want it to last you throughout the night and burn overnight, that's where you throw the fats, or that would be like a wet log, okay? Everybody's had some sort of fire, they spray it all down at the end of the night, and the next morning it's still smoldering. That's your fats, okay? So think about it this way. If your proteins and fats are at the end of the day, your proteins and carbs are at the beginning of the day, you're gonna provide energy all through the times you're active, you're working, and then our workouts in the afternoon, and then you'll switch over to vegetables, proteins, and fats at night, and it keeps everything really simple, okay? Does that at least start to break stuff down a little bit easier? Is that simple? Doesn't have to be difficult, guys. Who's done something way crazier than that before? Don't lie, I'm gonna pull that camera out again. Everybody has. Why? It's food, guys. It really is. So once you understand this, it makes everything else a whole lot easier. The next part I want to talk about is why protein is important. And that's because your body, with carbohydrates, the breakdown is so quick that it leaves you really, really up, and then it gets you really, really down really fast. So what we're looking at is, this is BS. What does that stand for? Blood sugar. We got somebody in here. Blood sugar. All right, and this is going to be your time. So let's say, you know, doctors always say, eat oatmeal for breakfast, it's great for your cholesterol, okay? They're part of the problem. Let's start with that. So your blood sugar goes up, you have your oatmeal right here. What does your body release to help control how high your blood sugar gets? Insulin. Okay? Now for diabetics that their body doesn't produce enough insulin, that blood sugar keeps going up and up. They get shaky, they can have a heart attack, they can have a stroke. So that's where, like a diabetic, they don't make enough insulin. For the rest of us, what happens when your body has insulin released is however long it took from here to get to this peak point. So say it took 1 hour, it's gonna take like 30 minutes to dive right here. How do we feel when we get right there? All right, you ready? Tired, irritable, grouchy, bitchy, cranky, moody. What else we got? Fire them off. And you could probably describe a coworker with any of those, right? All right. And that's it. So this is like 10 o'clock when you guys are at work, and you start to hit that lull, and it gets to 10:30, and what do? Do Do you go reach for a chicken breast? Hell no. You go reach for coffee with sugar, a donut, something that's carbs, okay? Because your body knows where it's going to get energy from. It's going to get energy from these carbs. So what's going to happen when you eat that donut? You do the same thing again. Then you get here, it's at lunchtime. Lunch, you probably overeat the carbs, and then you come back down, and then 2:30 you have this miserable, tired, sluggish feeling, all right? That's what we're trying to avoid. So when you start dealing with a little bit more balance, what happens is you can still eat that oatmeal for breakfast, but when you add a little bit of protein with it, whether it's eggs or Greek yogurt or if it's a protein powder from Marissa back there, it's going to take a lot longer to break down. So now where this was like 10:30 before and you're already down at this point, your oatmeal has now lasted you 2 hours or longer. As it starts to just dip just a little bit here, we're going to know ahead of time that we're going to put a snack there. Now some people can't eat at their desk or they can't eat at work or different things like that, so we might have to find something a little bit more convenient for you. It could be the protein bars, how Marissa broke them up. You can put those in a Ziploc bag in your pocket, and as you're walking up the steps, you can throw one in your mouth. You know, so there are some options of what you can do for quick on-the-go bites if you aren't able to eat at your desk. But right in here, say you throw in some nuts. That would help hold you over, because again, fat's going to help everything slow down. Then when you get to lunch right here, if you have a balanced lunch, then you're just creating these slopes all day long, and your energy's up and you stay alert, okay? Your goal is to never get down to here, okay? And so that's what happens when you have a low carb diet. You stay at this point, and everybody's like, oh, your body gets used to it. Yeah, you do. You just get used to being a dick. I forgot where I'm at. Yeah, I mean, you just get used to being, oh yeah, she's dieting, leave her alone. It is like, guys, we're gonna make you the happiest group of people ever, but like, let's not do it that way, okay? So the whole thing is, you want to just play to your strengths and play to your body. So think about this, and how I want you to plan this out is, if you're going to be active, protein and carb. If you're going to be sedentary, protein and fat. Just keep it simple. Now we can start mixing stuff as we get along, but at the beginning, keep it very simple, okay? So think about your schedule when it comes to breakfast. Breakfast is what time for most of you? Who doesn't eat breakfast? Let's start there.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Are you serious?
Yeah.
That was like 90%. I've never seen that before, but that's okay. God, I'll tell you 2 realizations. Coffee is not your. That was nuts, guys. I should have. It was every one of you. Who eats breakfast? That's a little easier. Okay. It looked way more. Somebody put up 2 hands. That was like overwhelming. I started sweating. Okay, so let's start with this, guys. Skipping breakfast isn't the worst if your first meal after that's extremely healthy. But what happens is you skip breakfast, and then what happens? You wait till you get hungry and you're famished and you don't make a good choice, okay? So let's avoid the skipping breakfast for now. There is a way called intermittent fasting, and the actual intention is you skip breakfast every single day and you shorten up your eating cycle to only a few hours a day. That's advanced. Let's keep it really, really simple. Let's start with it just trying to get something into our system every single day, okay? So when it comes to breakfast time, definitely some sort of protein to kickstart your day. Again, that's gonna be how your fire stays burning hot right through here. Now, how do we get the fire started though? Gotta have some carbs. So what are some options for breakfast for protein and carbs?
Bacon, egg, and cheese bagel.
Oh! Let's break it down. Let's break it down. Let's categorize, guys. You laugh, but I'm telling you, we're gonna make this work. Okay.
Make it on a croissant.
So, if you want to eventually someday get into like weighing out your foods and measuring them, stuff like that, guys, that's great. I'm probably not the person to teach you that because I can't do it myself. I am not that person. When she was doing her contest, man, she was awesome. Measured everything, weighed everything. Where'd D go? Al? D, same thing. Measuring every single gram of everything that goes into her system right now. That's just not me, okay? So let's use surface area on your plate or surface area of just what you can visualize. So when you look at the bagel, how much space does that take up? That's awesome. Okay, so you look at a bagel, how much space does it take up? Okay, how much does an egg take up? How much does the bacon take up? How much does the cheese take up? All right, you want to try and balance out your proteins as best possible with your carbs, okay? So when you would be looking at a plate, for instance, if you had an entire plate, wait till you see my drawings. That's a T-bone steak, that's your potato, and normally I have green to make my broccoli. So what you're looking at, this carb portion, if this is your carb and this is your protein, I don't care how big this is as long as this is bigger, okay? That would be ideal. You want to make your protein bigger than your carb. Now, ideally, you want to make it like half of what your protein is, okay? But we'll work on getting there. If you guys just start with having a bigger portion of meat than what you have of your carbs, we're on a good start, all right? Now, what if it's Greek yogurt? That counts as meat, okay? It came from something that lived. So when you're looking at this stuff, don't overcomplicate it with this. But if I was looking at this meal right here, I would say probably half the bagel, and that would probably work. It wouldn't be too bad. Is it ideal? Do you want to do it every single day? Probably not. But that right there is probably going to be, if we were really going to break it down, like 25 carbs. It's probably like 10 grams of fat. That's probably like 8 grams of protein. Yeah, you're going to work out almost where these three numbers add up to the carb number, and you're going to be pretty balanced. All right? Let's not go eat bagel, bacon, egg, and cheese every day.
What about the mini breads?
But in a pinch, yeah. Guys, I'm telling you, if you just keep it simple, ooh, I got a good eraser. If you guys keep it simple and do it to where you're just going with a bigger portion of protein than your fat and then your carb portion, that's gonna at least make it so you're on the upside of your protein content, all right? So you get to here, protein, and that's gonna be your carb. Let's give some other examples besides the bacon, egg, and cheese there. What else we got? Oatmeal. Oatmeal would be your carb, and what would it go with? Ew, hard-boiled eggs. Fruit. Somebody said eggs. All right, now fruit. Where would fruit fall? That's Cliff Gill. 2 F's, 2 L's. Yes. I would listen to all you guys say your stuff. I might not have it all down, but I'm close. So fruit would be under the carbs. So we'd still need a protein to go with it. What could go with fruit?
Yogurt.
Yogurt. Now, I'm not a huge fan of cottage cheese, but like even cottage cheese or yogurt. Now, when we're doing yogurt, we're not talking about the little kids' yogurt with like foil top. We're talking about like Greek yogurt, like real yogurt, all right? If it comes in like a squeezy tube, that doesn't count either. So we're talking like real yogurt. All right. Yeah, Go-Gurt, that's the one I was thinking. I just couldn't think of the name. All right, so let's give one more example for breakfast. What do you do? No, Shelly.
Oh, well, I'm a Canadian bacon.
All right, so she goes Canadian bacon,
And Ezekiel.
eggs. Normally there's some sort of like tomato or something like that mixed in with it. And then Ezekiel bread. Has anybody ever heard of Ezekiel bread? Okay. If you just eat it by itself, I can't say it's the best. It's living bread. So just like we talked about, it has to sustain life. So what Ezekiel bread is all those beans and sprouts and lentils and all those different things that are incomplete proteins, but together it forms that whole chain of amino acids to make it like a living, breathing thing. The two, I guess, downsides with Ezekiel bread is it has to be frozen, because if you leave it on your counter, it will spoil within a day or two. The other downside is, to me, if you eat it just kind of at room temperature, it's not the best. When you heat it up and toast it, it like activates all the flavor of the nuts and seeds, and it's killer. It's awesome. You could do something like this, like a breakfast sandwich. You could even do a burger on it. You could do a chicken sandwich. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can do.
Sandwiches are really good too.
Use it. What's that?
Grilled cheese sandwich.
Yeah, even if you want to do a grilled cheese sandwich, guys, if you started working with that, and actually bring that up at lunch. But yeah, that's perfect. So like Ezekiel bread is an option. Now, if you don't like that, you can go with any of these other things. Oatmeal, fruit, you can do grits if you like grits. I mean, if there's something that you like that we don't have up here, don't think that it's not included. It's just, we didn't think of it, all right? That's why when somebody asks me to write a diet for them, it's stupid. It's foods you don't eat. I want to know what foods you eat, and then let's go ahead and make adjustments from there, okay? So we'll keep it really simple with that. So that would be your breakfast. Your next, we'll go here to a snack. Okay, so when we get to the snack time, that's gonna be like 10:30. Now, realistically, if you had a solid breakfast, like if you had the bagel with whatever, that probably would keep you full and you wouldn't even need that snack. So that's where sometimes when you do have stuff that has a little bit more fat, like the cheese, I am pointing to the right spot, right? It was oh, it was Eddie who said it. You're just letting me call her out and point at her. Okay. So, but if you think about it, like it had bacon, it had cheese, so those are going to be fats, going to slow down the digestion. So when you're looking at that, you might not even be hungry when it gets to that 10:30 time, so you would skip over it. But if you had something a little healthier, right here, it's going to be in and out, and your body's digested already, which is the point. You want to eat, digest, eat, digest, eat, digest. You don't want to leave stuff in the fire to burn overnight. You want to try and burn all that off. So when it comes here at 10:30, to me, you need a little bit of energy. You need that boost to get you to lunchtime. So that's why I would always say fruit is a good choice. But really, I want to hear what you guys like. Like, what is a normal snack? What are you guys picking at your desk right now?
Chocolate cake.
Chocolate cake. I'm down with that, but send that my way.
Almonds.
Almonds.
I do yogurt and pickles.
Yogurt and pickles at the same time?
time.
Okay, I like that. It's gonna seem like we're writing yogurt a lot, guys, but yogurt can fit in so many different spots. So she put yogurt and pickles. Now, as far as a free food, I don't have spots right, but yeah, like pickles, olives. Yeah, string cheese, perfect snack. So we'll write this over here, and I would kind of throw that in your protein portion. Oop, I'm on the wrong side. Banana and peanut butter. So what would banana and peanut butter be? Carbon and fat. So would that be a good option at a snack time?
It is for me.
No, it's a good choice. I think it's a great option. Okay. All I'm asking is why. So it's a great option. I think it's good. Why is it a good option?
Because I'm sitting at my, yes.
I don't care if you like it. Why is it a good option for what we're talking about? Let's go with that.
Oh, you want like a real answer.
So it's going to give you a little bit of energy, yep, but it's going to hold you over till lunchtime. I'm cool with that combination. So again, some people do like peanut butter with apples, some people do peanut butter and banana.
Yes.
Yeah. So I would do a little carbs and a little fat, or a little carbs, a little protein, one or the other. But as long as you have something, because again, this is going to keep you full for a long period, this is going to keep you full for a long period. So just that piece of fruit, you're going to be hungry by the time you get to lunch, and you're going to overeat and make a bad choice. It's like the people who are like, oh, I ate salad for lunch. You're going to be an asshole by 4 o'clock because you're so hungry. All right? So we're going to try and eat stuff that fills us up. So if we go with fruit and nuts, and that could also be a nut butter. All right, we said yogurt, we said some other different things, but anything in there.
She said, are they really bad?
What's that?
Peanut M&Ms.
Yeah. So
There's chocolate full of that.
yeah. So
Dark chocolate.
guys, chocolate really would fall here. I mean, if you want it with your lunch, and again, it comes down to, do you want the rice or do you want the chocolate? It's going to fall into the same category. It just depends what you want. Now, if you do the chocolate for a couple days and you notice at 2:30, 3 o'clock, like you're crashing, then it's probably your body saying, choice. But it's not me saying, it's your body saying. And that's why, again, it's all individual for each person. So again, here, and when you look at your meal plan, guys, this is all written out. We're just scribbling here, but it's all written out on the download page. But it basically says here, you're going to do a protein with a carb. Here it says you're either going to do a protein and a carb, or a carb and a fat. Go in here. The next one is going to be your lunch. So lunch is going to be like the most important meal, because it's really whatever you've done up to this point is where you're now going to be either famished, you're going to be full, or it's just going to be time for the next meal. Okay, and there's a big difference on each. If it's just time for that next meal, then you're going to eat what you packed, you're going to eat what you prepared. If it's a crisp meal that he brought, but you're going to eat the right thing. When you get to the point where you're really hungry, how many times do we have something prepared and we have the intentions of making a good choice, and then we just eat something else? A lot. Or we eat that and then eat something else on top of that afterwards, because we didn't wait long enough for our body to digest it, and so we thought we were still hungry after we ate, and we eat something else on top of it. So lunch, to me, should have proteins, carbs, fats, vegetables, maybe some fiber, but lunch should be your biggest meal of the day. Now, if it's loaded up in carbs again, like our little example of the plate with my T-bone and potato, then you're going to create that same crash at 2:30, 3 o'clock. So you want to make sure that your meal is balanced. And when I say balance, again, think of your plate. How much room is the carbs taking? And how much room is everything else taking? If your carbs are the smallest portion, or one of the smaller portions, and your vegetables are bigger, your meat's bigger, your beans are bigger, cool, you're good, okay? Don't worry about getting too specific with things, just know what your foods are. If I ask you, what is an egg white? What would that fall under? Yeah, okay, you sure? Positive. She's looking sideways like it's gonna change or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a protein, okay? So guys, right here, if somebody wanted a burger and fries for lunch, is it doable? Maybe. Hold that for just a second, that's a good. A burger and fries, so you got a bun, you got a bun, you got a burger, so that probably is balanced right there, but then you throw those fries, now it's not balanced. So what could you do?
Just eat the hamburger and the fries.
I love this one right here. That's my answer. Eat the hamburger, eat the fries. Like, guys, pick your poison, okay? It doesn't mean that you can't have everything, It just means you got to pick what is going to be most important to you. All right. A restaurant's job is to fill you up on as much carbs so they don't have to pay the money for the protein, basically. I mean, if you think about it, think about how that food gets served to you. They bring you bread first, get you full. They bring you appetizers that maybe one thing on that whole thing has some sort of protein in it. Everything is set up to fill you up with carbs, and the protein is that last thing because it costs them the most money. So when you look at your restaurant, if you're going to a place like that, or you're stopping someplace, or you make your own burger, yeah, go with the burger and maybe the fries, but not the bun. All right, or do the burger with the bun and skip the fries. So however you want to go about that. Now, if you want to do something healthy, that's where your chicken and rice, that's where a steak and potato, that's where a lot of things could fit in there. But again, a meat with some sort of carbohydrate portion is going to be a great choice. Don't eat salad for lunch because you're going to have to do something like a salad for dinner, okay? Don't wear out your appetite with stuff that doesn't taste good in diet food at lunchtime. Eat, make sure you fill yourself up, make sure it's something that's going to be balanced and healthy, okay? Questions on lunch of good or bad? About fried chicken? What about, okay, so peanut butter and jelly. Let's go to fried chicken real quick, and then you had sweet potato fries, so we want to go back to both of those. Fried chicken would be a good choice, bad choice? Why?
Depends on what you have with it.
Depends on what you have with it, and what would be a good time or whenever to have it. Lunch. Are you busy in the afternoon? Okay, probably not lunch then. It's going to digest slow. Fried chicken, come on, what would it be?
Sunday.
It could be dinner. It could be dinner with vegetables. It could work. Proteins, fats, vegetables, okay? Now, if the french fries and the rice and the potatoes and whatever go with it, not a good choice. But if that was it, if that was your protein and fat at night with some vegetables, good call. Can you hold it for just 1 second? The other thing she had said was eat sweet potato fries is the last example. Because carbs are carbs. So if you go 4 ounces of flour, regular white flour pasta, or you go 4 ounces of wheat, brown pasta, the carbs is the same, okay? Your body might digest one better than another, but don't eat, I heard somebody mention quinoa earlier, don't eat just quinoa because you heard it's healthy. Like if you freaking hate it, don't eat it, okay? Eat something you like. Because again, it's gonna get to the point where you're gonna stop eating that and you're just gonna go back to your old ways. So find things that you do like. So if it's sweet potato and you don't like sweet potato, but you like white potato, eat white
What
potato.
about eggplant fries, broiled?
Eggplant, yeah, it's probably just gonna be a vegetable then. I think you'd be good to go. Yeah, that would be perfect. Peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Okay, so let's talk about that. You got bread, so that's a carb. Peanut butter is
Protein.
fat. And what's your jelly? Carb. So you got carb, carb, fat. When would that be a good time to eat? Before bed? Not with the carbs. Come on. With milk. Just dip it in, right? I believed you too. I was like, what would be a good time?
Maybe a snack.
Breakfast to me, if you had that fat with that carb, you're not going to get enough to jumpstart your metabolism in the morning. So you would need some protein. So say you did it with your breakfast. If you had a protein shake with it, you'd probably be in a great spot. You'd be okay. Again, that would be a protein, carb, and fat. So it's going to be a little heavy for breakfast, but that might be enough to carry you all the way through lunchtime, and you don't need that snack in between. Now the other option is you guys are going to be here at 5:30 or 5:15 warming up, at 5:30 for a workout. If that was at 3:30 and it wasn't this monster hoagie of a peanut butter and jelly, that would probably be okay, all right?